But what class are we doing to follow that up? Because we've done the easy one so far, and we're running out of the easy ones.
I was about to
I'd
say, let
say
me
the
look.
last easy one would probably be Paladin.
What did we want to, I don't even remember what we wanted to do for
It's the
Paladin.
same thing as the cleric. It's just channel divinity.
So, so we don't really have anything we can do here then, because that's in subclasses.
I only let me double check. Let me take a look. See. Paladin. Let me just read through all these. Oh, that's right. I didn't like Divine Sense either.
Divine Sense.
I
You don't like
never
any of the
find.
senses. You don't
No,
like
this one's
senses.
different. This
Yeah.
one's different because Divine Sense is so incredibly niche, and
Hmm.
it never gets better. So to explain Divine Sense, you use the feature. It's an action, not a concentration. It's instant, no duration, and you'd sort
Hmm.
of ping out 60 feet, and you can say, "I can now see that there is a celestial fiend or undead. Don't know where. Don't know who it is. Great.
It identifies where it is. It just doesn't
Oh,
identify what specific. Like the example I gives it, you can tell that there's an undead over there. You can't tell that it's Count Strahd von
yeah,
Zarovich.
right. The point is just that you have to know that you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Which, sure, it does come in handy when you're chasing down Count Strahd von
Hmm.
Lich.
Yeah.
You're never gonna use it otherwise.
Yeah,
Like,
this is one of those things that's called a ribbon feature, where it's really just given here because it adds to the flavor. It won't come up often.
all I'm saying is that I get its usefulness, and I wouldn't change what it does, like the range and its concept. I just think that it's really, considering the Paladin is known for its auras, at least give it like a big 18th level whatever feature that's like it's just passive now. Something really high up there to change it, because you're gonna forget about it. I've played a Paladin before.
Hmm.
I don't use this. I played a Paladin twice with this, I think, actually. It was useless.
Uh, Here's what I'll say. I'll give you two avenues
Yeah?
because I see where you're coming from. I see what you mean. Because it is one of those abilities that's very campaign dependent. If you're in a campaign where you're not fighting Celestial Fiends or Undead on a regular basis, you're not going to see this used much, if at all. Because, like you said, you're not going to know like if you're just wandering and like around the corner suddenly is an undead encounter, but you have no way if it's you have no pretense that there is any undead in the area, you're gonna have no reason to use this.
Yeah.
And it'll just happen anyways. So what I'll say is I'll give you two avenues. Either when you ping it, you can choose the creature type you're looking for, so it goes beyond Celestial's Fiend or Undead, or at 18th level or A level. When do Paladins get their last or last standard feature?
18th,
18th
actually. They
level is
don't have a
18th is
20th.
or yeah, 20th is subclass ones, and their subclass ones are very good actually.
Okay, sure.
But or at 18th level, like you said, it becomes passive.
I think that's all I'd like do to it. Just something to look forward to. Is just
At
making it
18th,
passive at a high
I would
level.
say at 18th level, it's just always
Because
on.
that's when your auras also go a lot better.
Big. Yeah, your auras get bigger at 18th level. That's the feature.
Uh, so yeah, let me just. That's the only thing. Like, Paladins are a great class.
That was a
Everything
very
else
good class.
about them I'm fine. It just, Divine Sense just felt like it was put in there because they had to.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree with that.
I step at the end. At 18th level, this feature becomes a passive aura. Now let's put it back down here as well when you get the upgraded auras. Way at the bottom. Fine. Is there anything in the optionals? They get some cool fighting styles that I wouldn't change, I don't think.
I wouldn't change it.
Harness Divine Power is the same thing as the Clerics, that one was fine. Martial Versatility, that one was fine. That's the only thing. Divine Sense is the only one, along with the Channel Divinities, but those are subclasses in this one.
I mean, this is a personal thing, and I don't think we need to. I think this is just a personal thing that I've done for a character I very, very much love, is having the unarmed fighting style option for them.
Oh.
But I recognize that paladins traditionally probably shouldn't have that. That doesn't make a lot of sense with a paladin.
Yeah, but this is Magic. We don't deal with tradition.
I know, but like, part of me wants to give it to them, but that's kind of a selfish reason of there's a character I really love that I want to do that with. But part of me is like, I feel like Paladin is the one martial class that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to not have a weapon. I will fight to the end of time to say that you can absolutely Divine Smite on an unarmed attack, though.
I was gonna say, I think I forgot to copy and paste Divine Smite to this.
Oh, did you?
Well, because I was having to not put in the spellcasting, like, block.
It should be right after spellcasting and right before Divine Health. No, you put it in here. It's right here.
Oh, I don't know where I'm looking then.
I look for me. I highlighted
there it is. Yeah, there it is.
So you want to know the one word that makes people question whether or not that you can? Because guess what? Jeremy Crawford has been asked twice about this. One time he said you can Divine Smite with an unarmed attack. The second time he said you can't. So even he doesn't know. The one word that makes people flip-flop, including him, is that the word weapon is right here. Because when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack and an unarmed strike is classified as a melee weapon attack, you can expend it in addition to the weapons damage. The fact that there's the word weapon here is what hangs people up. Because if you're hitting with your fist, it doesn't count as a weapon.
So what if I just change this word to attacks?
Yes, please.
Oh, look, we've done it. If I can actually get this.
It doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to do it.
Google Docs said no! Alright, there we go. Oh yeah, apostrophe. There you go.
My day is saved.
We've done it.
Because I tell you right now, everyone, just imagine someone doing a Divine Smite with their bare fist, and it's the coolest thing you've ever imagined.
Alright, so let me change this. Oops. Filter. That. Color. There we go.
Kyle, we run out of the easy ones?
Hold up. Let me look at the icons. That's hard. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Let me ask you this question. Is there anything we actually... Well, no, let me ask you this question. Is there anything we wanted to change on the Ranger?
We can go through. I put it there just because I actually put all of the optional features that they changed in there.
Yeah, because...
do anything there.
I'll
put Ranger up so we can take a look at it.
I say we look at it now because Ranger is truly something where I didn't consider it, but after Tasha's giving you the option to have more, because this is going to be my definitive stance on the Tasha's changes to Ranger. I do not think that Tasha's changes should just be always taken as a revision to Ranger. I think what Tasha's did was give an option, because at first level, you are given, as the default Player's Handbook Ranger, you are giving very niche use specific options. And the big problem was, if you made your character really good at fighting dragons and traversing forests, it was a problem when you spent nothing. You spent all the amount of time in the Nine Hells or in the mountains or wherever fighting orcs and bandits and whatever. All of those features just became dead to you. So what they did was give you the option to choose slightly weaker but more general use case abilities. I think that is perfect, and I don't think we need to touch that. Because you have the option now to be very specifically good at something, or have general use case abilities. Player options is always a good thing. Now, what do they get after that? I don't really remember. because that's the thing everyone talks about.
All right. So if I remember from copy and pasting, Depth Explorer was a change. Favorite Foe was change. Primal Awareness was a change. Land's
Yeah, did you-
Stride was not changed.
So wait, how did you just get rid of all the original features?
I was gonna put them in the optional features, but I got lazy. Basically, I thought if we were gonna look at the Ranger, we were gonna look at the ones that the new ones put in, and not the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the things that didn't change: Land's Stride, starting at 8th level, moving through non-magical, difficult terrain, costs no extra movement. You can also pass through non-magical plants without being slowed by them, and without taking damage from them if they have thorn spines or similar hazards. You have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement, such as those created by the Entangle spell.
I don't see a problem with that.
Alright, then there's Vanish. You can use the hide action as a bonus action. You can't be tracked by non-magical means unless you choose to leave a trail.
That's also fine.
And Feral Senses. You gain preternatural senses that help you fight creatures you can't see. When you attack a creature you can't see, your ability or inability to see it doesn't impose disadvantage on attack rolls used against it. You're also aware of the location of any invisible creature within 30 feet of you, provided that creature isn't hidden from you and you aren't blinded or deafened. So
It's really strong and really cool.
basically a blind sense. Or blind sight.
All right, you know what? I found something. Foe Slayer sucks.
Oh, that's right, the 20th level feature. At 20th level, you become an unparalleled hunter of your enemies. Once on each of your turns, you can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll of the damage roll, or of an attack. Bleh. Add your wisdom to the attack roll or the damage roll of an attack you make against one of your favorite foes. You can choose to use the feature before or after a roll, but before any effects of the roll are applied. Just deal more damage, or maybe you're a little better at hitting someone you don't like.
That's your level 20th feature.
That's it.
That sucks.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like that's something we would just take out completely and give them a new one.
Yeah. What can you think that would be cool for a ranger to have?
What's a ranger-themed feature? What do they do?
Rangers are excellent hunter trackers. Like that's honestly their main feature. Because here's the ranger conundrum. If you try to lean too far into the stealth, that's a rogue. If you try to lean too far into the nature, that's a druid. If you try to lean too far into the damage, that's a fighter. They're in this very delicate middle ground.
I think the 20th level feature should be based on terrain. Like, if they're in I get that we took out the favored terrain with the new stuff, because it wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you do X amount of time to prepare, you can pretty much dominate a fight so long as you're in that area you've prepared. Set up traps, hide as like just constantly. Maybe just a 20th level feature that buffs your other features if you have time to prepare.
Yeah, I can see that.
So what would we do specifically? Because that's a very vague statement I made.
That's a very vague statement, yeah. So let's see.
Let's just delete all this ahead of time.
What about...
I think at the start, maybe considering how Feral Sense works, maybe in this terrain you can see everyone. Like in this range you've created, no one is hidden from you.
Isn't that what Feral Sense is?
Well, you can see within 30 feet of you if they're invisible, but this is basically for inability and like disadvantage, for hitting things, so to speak. But if you're in magical darkness, you can't see when they leave. It's weird.
Well, how about this? Because this is balanced around them. We're taking away a damage feature. Granted, it's a shitty damage feature that would have been way better early on and shouldn't be 20th level, but we're taking away a damage feature. Should we give them a damage feature back?
Probably. It's just like, what would they do?
Okay. What if we did this? What if we supercharged they're kind of this, where it's like either your favorite enemy or your favorite foe is you either can hit them better or deal extra damage to them. But what if we took that to the next level? And what if we did it something relatively similar to something like Hexblade's Curse or the Vengeance Paladin's Oath of Vow of Enmity, where basically, what if for Foe Slayer, against your favorite enemy, you have advantage on attack rolls against them, and you can crit on a 19 or a 20?
Sure, is that good enough as a 20th? Probably, I guess.
I think it's pretty good. I mean, considering consider the application this way. This makes it's a 20th level feature, so you never build your character around a 20th level feature. But if you did choose favorite enemy instead of favorite foe, you would now have advantage against all of that type of enemy, no matter what.
Sure. You want to type out the phrasing of that?
See, we could do that. Like the increased crit range, I think is neat. Should it be that, or should it just be passive extra damage?
I think it should be extra damage. I feel like at this point, a ranger should just be able to hunt down their favorite foe really well.
Mm-hmm.
Just consistently.
I think. So they can get advantage. Because here's the problem, since we have this other option for favorite foe where you can make this apply to anything just by marking it. It can get real wild. Okay. What if we do this? You have advantage against your favorite enemy. You can crit on 19 or 20, and you add an extra roll of your weapon's damage die to all of your attacks.
That sounds good. You're really, really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's going to be what we settle on, so let me change the filter on this so I can gray out the ranger. Alright. I'd say we're getting through these faster than I thought, but we're not on the bad ones.
No, we've took the softballs so far, I'm gonna be honest.
There's currently only one left that I think would be easy, and that's the wizard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, I just wanted to change how the wizard's spell book worked, essentially.
Go ahead just to see what I put in. Oh, I'm gonna have to copy and paste the spell book. Because I didn't get that either. Give me one. Glasses. Wizard.
Yeah, this is the part where I start to hate my ideas. Where I'm like, oh yeah, sure, let's rewrite the whole fucking class book.
Sure, why don't we do this? It'll be fun, Kai.
There's certain ones where I'm like, I don't want to touch this because it's going to be so much work, and it's mainly the artificer and the monk.
We are ignoring that for the time being. We are hard ignoring those for now.
Yeah. All right, wizard.
Hold up, I got it here. The whole spellbook section for you. All of it.
All of it. Yeah. By the way, your numbers before on your table of contents are
Oh
fucked.
yeah, after that last. Oh yeah, after all these, yes, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna be honest. Don't know the wizard too much. They just never grabbed me. You might take the reins on this one.
So the problem I had with the wizard is the wizard's identity amongst the spellcasters has always been being the multi-tool of spellcasters. You should have a insane amount of spells that you can prepare for an insane amount of situations. And coming from someone like I've taken the advice from someone who has played a wizard for a very, very long time, and they said that the thing that always got them was that you are supposed to be this hyper intelligent magic caster. You are so intelligent that you mastered magic through the sheer study. You weren't born with anything and you didn't make any deals, so you had to figure it out yourself. You had to figure out the laws of the universe and how to manipulate them yourself. But you can only remember like 8 or 9 spells every day, even though you have your spell book right there. And I kind of agreed where that doesn't make a lot of sense. Kai, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah.
That doesn't make like you already have the limitation of you only know spells in your spell book. So why do they have to do prepared casting within the spell book? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I don't think they should. I think they just have their spells. Just all the ones that they have. I think the only, like, note that I added in when we were talking about it last time was that I felt like they should be able to transcribe spell scrolls from the wizard class for free, like you said, and from other classes is when you would have to gold cost. That way it would have a reason to have, like, a divinity wizard.
Yeah,
and having that feature.
Yeah, the fucking God, what's it called? The divination wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abby plays a divination wizard, and she was like, "Oh, I get a discount on divination spells." And then after Watchers asked me, "I've never seen divination spells in the world. How many are there on the wizard spell list?" And we're like, "There is 4, and like 2 of them are cantrips."
Ava as a knowledge cleric had more divination stuff than Fira.
That's the problem. All the divination spells are cleric spells.
So
the divination wizard feels very strange to exist.
It should apply for all spell scrolls. It's just you have to pay a hefty gold price for spell scrolls from other classes.
I think that if you find a spell scroll or the equivalent of in the world, and it's on the wizard spell list, you shouldn't have to pay anything to copy it in your spell book. I think that's kind of dumb.
Alright. Let's see. Where?
Yes.
There's so much words here for the spellcasting of a wizard.
Let's see. Hold on here. At your spell, it is a spell that you can prepare, and if you can spare the time to decipher and copy. Copying it involves a...
So first off, when you find a spell, just let's take that. A spell of first or higher, you can add to your spell book. Of spell list, you can prepare, spare time to decipher and copy.
So then now we're down here.
Right.
I think.
For each spell, let me just double check. Then second unique used by the sure, a wizard wrote it. Why not? You must practice spell until you understand. For each level, it probably take 2 hours and costs 50 gold pieces. That's 2 colors. Yes. Okay. Replace the book. That's also fine. Having a spell book, you need to have a backup. If you lose the spell book, you can use the same procedures. Scratch spells you've prepared new spell, filling out the remainder of your spell book. Requires you to find new spells to do so as normal for this reason. Yeah, so this would also make it so that you really do want to have backup spell books.
Yeah.
Because again, if you could only transcribe wizard spells, it's like, oh no, I lost those spells that I can learn normally, anyways. Book's appearance doesn't matter. All right, I think those were only asterisks in the spell book there, but you also want to change how many you can know, right?
Yeah, hold on.
So your repair lists that are available. Okay, I think I know how to phrase this. Yeah, I think I know what to say. Okay. Oh, wait for you to finish though.
Okay. How does that sound?
Let me read. I was up there. If the spell is on the wizard spell list, for each spell level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours. If the spell is not on the wizard spell list, you must also spend 50 gold pieces per level of the spell, and the spell now counts as a wizard spell when you cast it. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
So what I was reading up here just how to phrase it, and how I think you should phrase it, which is this paragraph right here, is that it says just when you prepare a list of wizard spells. I think it should be when you create the wizard, like when you buckle down, you're making your wizard. Those are the rules. That means it doesn't limit you after you're done the wizard. Once you're done and you start transcribing spells and leveling up, it's just a matter of filling up your spellbook. And
I agree.
If you lose the spellbook and don't have a backup, you're back to the square one of when you create the spellbook.
Yep.
So when
I would agree.
Just do that and just say when you create your spellbook for the first time. That's just you choose a number of wizard spells equal to this. The spells must be available for which you have a spell slot. That is the phrasing I think that should happen. Because that means that it phrases it in a way that if you have to make a new spell book, you're also following these rules.
And you don't, and this no longer obeys prepared spellcasting rules.
And then I'm gonna delete this because now we're not using any of that. I don't think this is all how to detail prepared spellcasting. So,
well, I think that's just detailing how spellcasting in general works.
You can change the list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, just get rid of that.
Yeah, this is all how you prepare spells. Alright. I put all that in. I think that's good.
Ooh.
We still have other wizard features that we can read, but I think they're fine because there's only like 2 more. And honestly, the other base features of a wizard were good. Arcane Recovery. Once per day when you finish a short rest, you can expend spell slots to recover. Spell slots equal to less than half your wizard. For example, if you're 4th level, you can recover up to 2 spell levels worth of slots. You can recover.
That's fine.
Yeah. Arcane Tradition. You can. It's just your subclasses.
Subclass.
And then there's Spell Mastery, which I was fine with. That's also really cool. Just being able to have basically 1st, 2nd, and eventually 3rd level spells that you can use as cantrips. That's cool.
Choose a. Well, hold on. It's only 1st and 2nd, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry, 1st and 2nd.
You choose a 1st and a 2nd level spell. Yeah, you cast those spells that.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them as a wizard spell. I don't think spell mastery should work outside of the wizard spell list.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that feature. It's cool having certain spells that are now cantrips that makes wizards feel unique and cool among other.
Huh? Hey Kai, have you read the 20th level one before?
God, don't they have a really shitty 20th? I forgot it.
Why don't you give it a read?
When you reach 20th level, you gain mastery over 2 powerful spells and can cast them without little effort. Choose 2 third-level wizard spells as your signature spells. You always have them prepared. They don't count against the number of spells you can prepare. You can cast each of them once 3rd level without expending spells. Only once! No more! When you do so, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. If you want to cast them at a higher level, you must expend them as normal spell slot.
So what would be the ramifications of giving 2 third-level at-will spells? What would be the ramifications of that?
I don't know. Fireball forever. Only base fireball, though. I think.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to think. Because in my mind, 20th level should be when you have reached the peak of your... Well, broken the game, but in respect to the wizard, when you've reached the peak of your study.
Yeah.
I think the wizard...
Your mind has transcended.
I think the wizard at level 20... Maybe they can take a spell from any class, as long as it's... You know, how about just, like, the Mystic Arcana? Where you can just choose a spell from... Oh, not Mystic Arcana. What's the Bard one? College of,
Magical Secrets.
Magical Secrets. Because I feel like that's a very wizard thing, but it's gotta be 20th level, and that's 10th. So what?
Whoa! Hey, no, I remember what I wanted to do. Once per day, I would probably change the name of it, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But once per day, you can use your 9th level spell slot to cast any 9th level spell, regardless if it is in your thing or not. You can do it once, so you can choose a 9th level spell from the whole game.
That's good. I'd say it shouldn't use a spell slot. It should be a feature, you should just choose a spell at when you reach level 20. Then that's your that's your peak.
That's your peak.
Because then I'm gonna be honest, at that point, with the way you phrased it, there's no point in just saying they get a free 9th level spell, because you're still using a spell slot at 9th level.
That's a good point. So, should we do it where
they always have it prepared?
Wait, how? Yeah, should you choose the spell when you level up to 20, or should it just be open to I have this free 9th level, essentially bonus spell slot that can be used for any 9th level spell in the game once per day?
Man, it's hard to think. I think maybe the way you phrased it, it's hard to say, because in my mind it's like...
Should they be able to cast any 9th level spell, or should they choose one that they always have?
I think it should be one, but I'm just trying to think, is that equal to what the cleric and druid could do? Just having a free 9th level spell that they can always use once per day. That doesn't count towards their other ones that they've learned. Because
I think that's probably fine.
All right. So, well then, that's just signature spell. Take out the S.
Yeah.
Don't delete all of it. You get mastery over a spell. Start deleting from there. A spell of your choosing when you reach this level. Choose any spell, period. That's just it. Any spell to use for this feature when you reach... Okay, there you go. Upon reaching level 20, upon level up, choose any spell for this feature. Period. You can cast this spell once per long rest without expending a spell slot, even while upcasting. Or I guess upcasting's not the right phrase, but you know. Even while casting.
So are we leaving this just open in case you don't want to do a 9th level spell and you can just do something else?
I think as the peak wizard form, you have that one spell, and that's you're showing that off. This is mine. I know how to do it perfectly at all times. I think that should be their cool 20th level thing, because they are a knowledge thing. This is the peak of their research, so to speak. There you go. What's their optional? I copy and paste it without reading it.
Cantrip formulas lets them switch cantrips on
Long rest. That's good.
on a long rest. Yeah, it's good. And that's the end of. Yeah, that's it. They only gained one optional feature.
All right, let me apply the filter. I'm comfortable with that.
We're running out of breathing room between us and the scary ones.
Going to be honest, Parker, I think that was it for breathing room.
Oh god.
Because I have a problem with Rogue, you have a problem with Bard, we all have a problem with Druid, we all have a problem with Monk, and boy is the Artificer there.
And the Artificer's a problem. It's just a problem. That one just is a problem.
Boy is the Artificer there. So which one are we willing to tackle today? Because we're at the point when I'm like, we probably won't finish this in the time that we might want to do it. If we try when we're doing all of them, it might take a second stream, and then we start doing subclasses.
Yeah. All right, Kai. I'm gonna flip a coin. On heads, I'm dealing with the Bard. On tails, you're dealing with the Rogue. Okay.
All right.
We're going to the Rogue. That was tails.
Alrighty. Okay. So with the Barbarian, there's a feeling. With the Rogue, I know what bothers me about the Rogue.
Okay.
I know what it does. Like, not specifically feature for feature, but I know what the feeling is wrong is.
Okay.
Actually, there's two. There's two things.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to be blunt. The Rogue is a solo act, which is weird because they have sneak attack, which requires someone else to be there almost all the time unless you're a specific Rogue subclass.
I mean, they also gave you the steady aim and optional features, which doesn't require someone else to be there.
That is true. That was an optional feature, and they started making it better. But that was just like the vibe, because that still applies sneaking around. Because the Rogue, you're playing your own game. You leave. It's built around leaving the party to do your own thing, because if they come along, your features are fucked.
Is this have anything to do with you playing alongside Iggy for 2 years?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really mind Iggy's. It's just every time I look at the Rogue, it's like, I could stealth, I could do all this cool stealth stuff. No one else is gonna be there with me. I'm flying solo. And like, I get that's what happens when you stealth in real life, but we're playing a team-based game. It just comes down to, this is a group game. So why are you having the Rogue be like this?
So I'll ask, what do you think can be done to make the Rogue not such a solo act, but at the same time not completely nuke the idea of a stealth-based character in D&D?
Well, okay, I'm gonna need to go... First off, obviously, the reason why they're so good at stealthing is because of their expertise mixed with, what was their... is it 11th? When they...
It's 10th level, I think.
No, it's 11th.
Or is it? It's 11th level, yeah, when they get reliable talent.
That also goes into the second point that I was going to do, because this is I said there was two. The second thing is that there was no downside. Absolutely no consequences to sneaking as a rogue, because let me just run the numbers by you here, Parker. Reliable talent. You can you're always going to roll a 10 on anything you're proficient with, which is so many things, right?
Wait, this is assuming you have at 11th level you probably have a 20 dexterity, which you should.
Right. So you have a 10.
That's 15. And then you are probably also an expertise in stealth.
Right.
So at 11th level, that's another +8 on top of it. So the lowest you could possibly roll is a 23.
Right. And you showed us was it Xanathar's guide? I had like a stealthing challenges.
Yeah, it was the downtime activity for criminal activity.
Wasn't the most difficult DC, was it 25 or was it 30?
It was 25.
That's right.
It was 25.
So you have a 40% chance of failing the hardest challenge that Wizards of the Coast could throw at you at 11th level, halfway through your class. There's no consequence.
I'm gonna be real. I've come across very few creatures, especially ones you'd encounter at 11th level, that can have a passive perception higher than 23.
So that is the point. Considering there's no consequence for you to do these things, And there is consequence for you even considering bringing any of your party along. The rogue is a solo act. So you would
Yeah,
need
remember how every time that Lee as Iggy, if the idea is put forth to someone to go with them, they are like,
Yeah,
maybe not.
it's not a good idea, and it's just based on how the rogue is function. So I would think.
Is the problem that there's no gradient, because at the first 10 levels of play, stealthing as a rogue has consequences and is genuinely fun.
Yeah.
But as soon as you hit 11th level, you could do whatever the hell you want to do.
So what I would do is it starts at 11th level. Don't do that. There should always be a consequence to your actions. But I think reliable talent should be swapped out with something that's similar to Pass Without a Trace, where you are able to help the people coming with you to stealth, so that you aren't running a solo act, because again, your rogue killing ability, if things go wrong, still needs people.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to rely on that optional feature to get yourself out of a scuffle, basically. You're in a team game. Rely on your team.
Hey, by the way, Kai, you want to talk about no consequences? Have you ever read the 20th level feature of the rogue?
Fuck. Right. I'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go bit by bit. I'm fine with cunning action. It's really good to do the entire row, get in, get out, fast. Makes sense. Then you got your subclass, you got your ability score. Uncanny dodge is... I mean, it uses your reaction. It's very good. I just think whenever it gets to the point when... Because it currently just halves the damage against you. Was there a thing that makes you not take any damage?
Go to, you're thinking about evasion. Scroll down and read evasion.
That was it. Makes it. You can make it anytime you have to make a dex save. You take no damage. I think that doesn't really make sense.
That if you make the dex save, you just take no damage, and if you fail it, you still take half damage.
I think that, yeah.
So, Alan Dallas, what we're trying to do is, we are not trying to redesign the game to be better. We are just trying to redesign the game based on our play experience over these past couple of years and opinions we have of the classes. Currently, we're on the rogue, and this was Kai's advocate for putting rogue in, and the reasons he has listed so far is mainly that the main reason being the rogue post like level 11, when you get reliable talent, has no consequences for playing the way they are, and they are constantly, their abilities encourage them to play as a solo act and not let anyone in on their stuff, basically.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to avoid, and it involves just outright taking features out of the rogue, which is why it's difficult. Because now I'm sitting here like, I have to think what makes sense.
You don't want to nuke the rogue.
I'm not trying to make the rogue shit. That's why, despite me saying how the rogue's sneak attack works, I'm not going to change it, because that's a lot of work and it's very difficult, and I'm going to rather...
It's baked very far into their existence.
Yes, so let's not do that. I'm going to start with reliable talent and evasion. I think evasion's still fine. I think the idea of being better at dexterity saves, considering you're a rogue and you should be really good at dexterity saves, is there. I just think maybe it should be something maybe closer along the lines of, even when you're making the dex save, it's like... It's just a flat half damage, and making the save means you don't take the side effects. So
you think you want to take out the part where they take no damage if they succeed?
Yes, I just want to take out the no damage and replace that with no side effects. Let's say you get hit by...
Because you think a rogue shouldn't be able to stand in the middle of a fireball, make a good roll, and then it did nothing to the rogue.
Like, they didn't move from their spot. They were just like, yeah! The fire somehow just phased through them. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. If we were to do something like that, I'd say a rogue should be able to actually physically move out of the way. Like, walk out of the way. But then that it's...
I was about to say, what if you gave the option, like, what if you gave the option of, if they succeed the dexterity saving throw, they can either take the half damage but no other side effects, or they can take no damage but they must move to the nearest point
That's good.
out of the AoE.
I think that makes sense for a rogue. Just running away from the effect makes sense for their
You
what a rogue
do
does.
a cool backflip
Yeah.
over to the right, like 10
Because
feet.
then you're actually doing the rogue thing of you're acrobatically getting out of the way of these big fire-breathing dragon effects. Because you are an acrobat. So when you have to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, you can. Here we go. You can either choose to. Oh, and you. Sorry. You have to make the saving throw and succeed. Which just makes you a dexterity throw, take only half damage, and succeed on the saving throw. Even though most rogues will always succeed, but I have to add that there. You can choose to either take half the damage and suffer no side effects from the attack.
Sure.
Or choose to move the shortest possible. I said possible because that means if you can't make the distance, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Or to move the shortest possible distance out of the attack's range if you are capable. I don't know how to phrase that. Affect air if you are capable of moving that far, I guess.
Well, you've already got the possible part, so you don't need to do that.
All right. There we go.
I'm gonna put this little part. You can choose to take say, or
taking damage
as a reaction.
Oh, yeah, that's probably good. I forgot about that part. Choose to move the shortest possible distance out of the attack's affected area, taking no damage.
Does that make you feel better about that?
Yeah.
Okay. One down. One down.
All right, reliable talent.
Baby steps. Okay, here's what I'm going to ask. Do you want to delete reliable talent's existence altogether, or do you want to move it to a later point?
Let me read down just to make that decision. Blind sense means that they can locate. You're aware of the location of any hidden invisible creatures. That's fine. I get it. It's kind of weird, but you know.
I'm going to be honest. I don't get why blind sense is a thing on the rogue, but okay.
If we wanted to add other features, but let's keep our plate small.
Yeah. Okay.
Slippery mind. You gain proficiency in wisdom saving throws. That's sure. Elusive. No attack roll has advantage against you while you aren't incapacitated. Yep. Stroke of luck. That's right, I have to read this now. Alright! At 10th level, you have an uncanny knack for succeeding when you need to. If an attack misses a target within range, you can turn the miss into a hit. Alternatively, if you fail an ability check, you can treat the 20 roll as a 20. This is just reliable talent, but 20?
Yeah. You can use it once per short rest.
I think we should just add reliable talent to that. So that they passively have that, and if you still fail, it's a 20 once. You can choose to make it a 20 once.
You think a reliable talent should be level 20 ability, essentially?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good, Parker. It's very good.
It's very strong.
I'm okay with having no consequence when you're at level 20 and you can kill God.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it level 20.
Move it as you please. That doesn't mean we have to find something to put in the place of level 11.
Right. Well, what I was saying before is that it should be, the 11th level feature should be something that makes it so that other people are capable of stealthing with you.
Oh, that's right. That's what
I was saying. And obviously, in my mind, the first thing that came to mind was the spell Pass Without a Trace. You and your group give everyone a plus, 10 to stealth? Mm-hmm. It's just how do you phrase that to make that for a rogue?
Well, here's how we should do it with a rogue, basically. What if... What if it's a thing where as long as they don't have disadvantage on the stealth check, i.e. you can't make someone better if they're still wearing a big noisy plate armor, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But as long as they don't have disadvantage on the stealth roll, and they are within a certain distance of you, they can take the result of your stealth roll instead of their own.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's fine. Because then you can still fuck up. The rogue can still roll poorly and everyone cries and dies and whatever. But you're not ruining the stealth function of the rogue by being there with the rogue unless you're being an idiot and wearing clickety-clackety chainmail.
So I say we do that.
Starting at 11th level. How many creatures? Choose a number of creatures. I'm not sure how many.
I'd say equal to your proficiency bonus. Bonus within 10 feet of you.
Now just imagine just like
here. I'll do it. Yeah, let me do it. Let me do it.
No, I was just gonna say, imagine there's like 4 of you just huddled around a rogue like a fucking.
That's the idea.
It's so funny. I love it. In my mind, it's like Scooby Doo, how everyone's going in a line, but in reality, it's just a big square of people. Working on. So wait, fun story. I'm working on my own system based on 5e. I've had to rework a lot. Lot systems. I'd love to talk about it, but you're doing your own thing here. We are taking in chat feedback because we're not just
suggestions.
Yeah. If you guys think we say something that's impossible.
Here's a thought. I feel like Rogues gives a bonus on stealth checks to party members, or just removes the disadvantage from stealth check. I think it's Rogue offering help again. Yeah, that's essentially what we're doing. I think it'd be very cool for the Rogue to be able to use their stealth roll for other people, because it makes them feel like they're offering more than just a numerical bonus.
Yeah. It should still be the Rogue's thing, so it should still rely on the Rogue's dice, I guess, in my mind. It's just...
Make a stealth ability. Stealth.
He's really struggling with that one.
I really am. I'm trying to remember, because I have to remember how 5e words things. I can spell.
You'll get there eventually.
The rogue may roll in their place.
I think stealth checks should be group rolls where in it
or should, and the creature is allowed to take the result of the rogue.
I think that change could be a mechanical change on the DM's part, which would still make the reliable talent good. Which is just having it be a group roll.
When any of those creatures should need to make a strange check, the rogue may roll in their place, and the creature is allowed to take the result of the rogue's roll. As there. Oh, there we go. I think that does it.
Yeah, because in yours, I'm gonna call you Alice. In yours, Alice, it would still make sense to have this feature. That's just a change I think the DM should do, so that's a group roll. That way, if you don't have a rogue, it still works that way. If you do have a rogue and you're 11th level, you just look at the rogue if he's there with you guys and go, okay, we're using his because he's God.
Yeah, Alice, I'll say this. Yours does make sense because it is technically a rule that you can use in D&D. There is group skill challenges if you look in the DM's guide. I'm gonna be real. These I don't care to change them because they're fine. I guess these two don't make sense to me as a rogue feature.
Yeah, they definitely don't. Maybe wait, what's the rogue's base saving throws already? I didn't put it down. Is it dexterity and charisma?
It is dexterity and intelligence. Sure, I guess.
All right. No, sure. I don't want to change them because I'm not sure what I'd put it otherwise. So. I just wanted to change those. I think it helps make the rogue less of a solo act. Because now once you get into high levels, it's like that, and in the early levels, you're always still having to risk. And at that point, it's just if the rogue still goes off on his own, that's just him.
Unfortunately, that's just him. He has been given the choice now.
Yeah, I think the choice of doing it as a group without absolutely fucking over the possibility of succeeding makes it good. I never thought the rogue was bad, it was just too by itself.
So a super big thing, rules as written passive perception means that an enemy or player doesn't roll as a perception check. You can go under passive perception unless the person is allergic to it. Yeah, we know. That is passive perception.
Right. Is there anything else? Wait, I should look at the optional. Oh, that's right, they have one, and it was just the one we already talked about. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I like that optional one because it makes the cool idea of a like a sniper based rogue really interesting.
Also, I will point out, by making your speed 0, that does mean that the change that we did to the Uncanny
Evasion
does mean you would not be able to get out of the way.
That's super correct.
I'm fine with that.
You just wanted to give the rogue some accountability.
Yeah! Have the rogue have a possibility to failure. It sucks being everyone else looking at a rogue and just being like, why aren't I just a party of rogues?
I just think of Lee rolling for the rogue and you and Molly just sitting there seething every time Lee rolls something.
It's like, why? It's just like, why are you rolling? Doesn't matter. You got it.
Yeah, how many times in the last session did I say, I don't need you to roll?
Every time.
There's nothing that could possibly detect you in here.
I do not think Iggy rolled for stealth when we were breaking.
There's absolutely not, because Iggy's also a thief rogue, which means Iggy gets advantage when they move half their speed.
Yeah. There's no reason. Now there is. If we did this, there would be a reason.
Yeah, you could go with.
I could go with without ruining it. There's also a reason for you to ever ask Lee to roll.
Yeah.
And I still don't think we're nerfing it, because I do think the changes to evasion still good.
Mm-hmm. The rogue is... I mean, I'm going to be real. If there was one that I thought was a little overpowered, where it shouldn't be, the rogue was it. The rogue was the one. I wasn't going to nerf... I still don't think we nerfed it really in any way. We just changed its power allocation. But the rogue is very strong in 5th edition.